This is the second video in a series of videos talking specifically about AI literacy. So AI literacy is this overall important thing that we need to develop within ourselves as well as within students. This is breaking down each of the four main concepts of AI literacy so that we can better address what they are and so that we can identify different ways that we can develop it for everyone involved. Now, we talked last time about the AI literacy component of awareness, and that was important. So there's a video specifically about that. Now we're addressing the second component, which is capability. So with capability, we're talking about what are AI capabilities as well as what are our capabilities. So first, let's talk about AI capabilities. That's something that's going to continue to change and develop more and more and continually as we move forward because we're dealing with technology and technology improves. So we need to think, okay, if I want to do something, if I need to create something or answer questions, then I need to understand what are the AI's capabilities. Now, I know that an AI isn't perfect all the time, right? That's an aspect of awareness as well as critical thinking. So I have to understand that the capability isn't perfect, and it never will be 100% perfect for multiple of reasons, such as outdated information or the perspective that it's taking. There's all sorts of different reasons. So I have to at least acknowledge and know that it could be wrong, just like a human could be wrong, right? Even though this is coming from a logical computer, that doesn't mean that it's always going to be perfect because of the many different variables. So that's one aspect of capabilities. The other aspect dealing with capabilities and computers here in AI is that different AIs will function differently. So one AI might be really great at creating an essay for me. Another AI might be really good for computer code. Now, some AIs are great at doing a bunch of things, but I need to know that some might be better than others. So I need to take that into account when I decide which AI to use. Other things such as the features, the capabilities, the different ways of even using the AI, those are all going to be different based off of the AIs. So one small example is that some AIs allow you to give attachments. So that means that it can understand those attachments. But even then, there's differences in that some AIs only accept certain types of attachment, meaning that it has to be a PDF or it has to be an image or it can actually read text or it can't read text. You need to understand, well, which AI can do what. So that's an important part of understanding the capabilities of different AIs. Additionally, different AIs have different capabilities. Some are multimodal, some are not. Some can create great images for you. Some can create audio, so music can be created, text, synthetic voices, video, all different types of AIs that can function in different ways. So it's important to understand that, yes, there are capabilities out there, but I need to understand which AIs do what, as well as price. There's differences in price, differences in quality, differences in complexity. So those are all different things to consider. So lots of different AIs with lots of different great capabilities that can help us in many different ways. So that's part one there, dealing with capabilities. The other big aspect of capabilities associated with this AI literacy component is in our capabilities. What can we do as far as being able to use this AI effectively and efficiently? So our capabilities, how can we develop those things? Well, one major aspect of our capabilities with AI is prompt engineering. Now, don't let that word scare you. There are different levels of prompt engineering. What we're going to talk about is just sort of enhancing, improving our overall way that we can interact with the AI. So that if we really think about it, all that is being able to talk properly. Because remember, we don't need to know code in order to interact with this AI, but we need to be able to express ourselves properly so that we're giving AI the best direction. We're giving AI the best type of question. So let's look at a couple different examples here. One is I'm going to pose a question to the AI in a very simple way. So in this case, simply pose a simple question. What is problem analysis? I ask the AI the simple thing and it gives me a pretty good answer. It goes through and it explains what is problem analysis. That's great. And that in itself could be a usable answer to you. But the big thing that I'm trying to get you to see here with this aspect of capability is that we can enhance that question. We can enhance what we say to the AI. How can we do that? We can do that through the use of an advanced prompt formula. So these are specific components of a prompt to ensure that we get the best overall results. The first part here is tasks. So by task, meaning, hey, what you ask the AI to do, to create, to answer. The next part is instruction, specific information to best complete that task. Again, we want specifics there. The next is context. What viewpoint or role do we want that AI to take? The context. And then we have reasons, providing the why for reference and enhanced understanding. If it knows a little bit as far as the reasons why you're asking this question, then that can usually enhance the overall response. And then the next one is clarification, letting the AI ask questions if needed. And then finally, refinement, understanding that this is an ongoing conversation back and forth, so it doesn't need to stop. So that's the overall understanding and explanation here for our advanced prompt formula. Now let's go back to that simple example and apply our formula to that. So now instead of just asking it the simple what is problem analysis, I'm going to use my advanced prompt formula and ask it in this way. Please act as a university professor. I am taking a course on logic. I just received a lecture on problem analysis, but I didn't understand it. Please explain it to me as if I'm in high school using simpler language and plenty of examples so that I can easily understand this. Do you need any other information to give me a better response? Notice here the different aspects as far as our advanced prompt formula. We give it a task. In this case, the task is that we want it to explain what problem analysis is. So that's our overall task, right? We say, explain it to me. The instructions, we're being very specific in that we need to understand what this is, but we want it to explain it to us as if we're in high school using simpler language and to give us examples so that we can easily understand it. Context, the viewpoint. Well, we still need this to be from the viewpoint of the university professor. That's why we ask it to act as a university professor, but within those instructions of making sure that the language is simplified. And then the reasons here, remember we stated the reason is that we're taking that course and we received that lecture from the instructor, but we didn't understand it. So there's the reasons. And then clarification. We give it an opportunity to ask us questions in that we say, do you need any other information to give me the best response? And in this case, no, it didn't need any other information. It simply says, yeah, here you go. Here's an explanation of problem analysis. It goes through and breaks it down for us. Why is this important? And as you can see, the language being used here is simpler. It makes it that much easier to understand. Additionally, as it's giving us this explanation, it's using a multiple of examples for each part in order to ensure that we are getting it. Remember, the last part of that advanced prompt formula is refine. So that means that we can keep going with this. So let's go back to the example and see how we can continue on with this. So now I can prompt it by saying, excellent, now I get it. Please pretend to be my professor again and ask me 3 questions about this one at a time. Let me answer, then ask me another question, and then give me feedback at the end. So now I'm having it function as a study buddy or as a simulation in that it poses a question to me and I can answer it. And it's giving me feedback right then. It says, excellent answer, you're absolutely right. And it gives me, again, some additional good feedback. And then it goes through and gives me more question. That's the other big thing of this, is that it's not just about using the advanced prompt formula, but then also thinking about, well, what else can I have the AI do for me? Meaning that it's about how it's presenting the information, how am I interacting with this AI? So you can see there that yes, I got good knowledge from it because it was teaching me this information, but then now it can also serve as this additional tutorial or this additional simulation in that it's posing me questions and I'm answering it and it's giving me feedback. So that's really empowering and really gives more agency to that student, whether it's me as a faculty member wanting to learn something or I'm teaching my student, hey, this is how you can use AI to learn better. In addition to what I'm teaching you as the instructor, look, now you have more agency because you're able to use the AI that much more. And that's the power of AI literacy. That's the power that comes from understanding these components, specifically capability, in enhancing my understanding of how I can use this AI. So that's what we're really going for with all of these things. Another big thing that we have to understand now is that because we have AI that has developed to such an extent, we have multiple ways of interacting with the AI. The example that I just showed you right there deals with me texting something in there and it's replying with text. But of course, now we have multimodality, meaning that with this AI, I can simply talk to it. I can talk to it and it'll reply to me in voice. So that's a really powerful way now that we can interact. And I say powerful because it's very quick, it's very easy, and there can be much more emotional connection. So that can really help with learning content by creating an additional emotional connection by using the AI in that way. So as far as teaching our students, we can do many different things in that we could use it as a simulation, having the students go through it and use it as a simulation. I have my students, I teach professional communication, I have my students interview the AI. But first you prompt it by saying, hey, I want you to assume this role. I have them assume the role of a CEO within a company, and then they have to interview. So they're practicing their interviewing techniques. The AI is responding and it's giving great information that they're having to interpret, understand, use their active listening, and then incorporate that back to say follow-up questions or additional probing to ask really good questions and then have a really good interview. So that's really powerful because students have directly told me that, hey, going through this really gave them additional experience, which made it that much easier when they had to do it in real life, because this was all just a formative assessment so that they then did the real summative assessment. So that's a real powerful thing there. I would recommend that you would use that as a great teaching technique for this, and that by having them go through that, whether it's for this topic specifically as far as AI literacy, or it's just an aspect of them using it for your topic, they're still gaining so much AI literacy by using it in that way. So that's one that I would strongly recommend is simulation. But additional things as far as showing them how they can prepare for a test, prepare for any type of assessment by using AI to help them practice, to help them study. That would be another great way to help students really see the power that comes from enhancing their capability. Another great one that I suggest for learning this advanced prompt formula and using it is to share some advanced prompts with your students. Say, hey, we're preparing for this test. Here's a prompt for you. Or you could have a competition in class saying, hey, we're going to have a prompt competition. Who can come up with the best prompt dealing with this? Another one would be showing them a prompt and saying, hey, we're going to use this prompt. Is this a good prompt or a bad prompt? Why is this a bad prompt? Well, it's a bad prompt because you didn't put in any additional context, or there aren't any reasons associated as to why you're asking this question. So again, having students look at it and try to differentiate and analyze and then decide what's better. So lots of different possibilities there on how this can be taught to students and how we can develop this within ourselves. Because that's the big thing, is that we need to experiment with it. We need to use it, develop our capabilities, so then we're that much better ready and able to then teach it to our students. So that is overall what AI literacy is as far as capability. And I want to highlight that there are additional ways to interact with the AI now, because we can give it different media, right? We can tell it to, hey, analyze this image for me, analyze this spreadsheet for me, as well as now we can even do live things like, hey, tell me if I'm dressed properly for this interview that I'm going into. The AI can do that now. And it can even do screen sharing, meaning that I could share my screen. So as I'm looking at a problem, looking at a situation, or interacting with some software, the AI can assist me as well. So all those things are important to understand as far as the capabilities of AI, so that we can then develop our own capabilities to really be able to use the AI to maximum effect. Again, we need to do that first so that we can properly help our students to develop as well. So that is AI literacy, specifically capability. This is part 2 in the overall series dealing with AI literacy to help everyone develop these capabilities. Together we can do this. Together we can help everyone have the best educational experience possible. And remember, learning is for life.